One, go.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Mascar. I am the one-of-a-kind Stathole, along with the man, the myth, the legend himself, the masshole, James Sullivan. So we've been gone for a couple weeks, so we want to make sure we get back right into things. I went to WrestleMania, it was pretty awesome. But right now, we want to get back into racing where we left off, and that was Texas Motor Speedway. So,
Boring.
Alright, that's how we thought about that. Let's talk about racing Texas. It was, for me, it was a great race to see Jimmie Johnson go up front, battle for the lead, be up in the front. It was great, I think.
There he is,
starting
Parker.
Yes, sir.
The man, the myth, the real legend, the bartender at the Turtle Tavern in historic Milford.
Gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, like we were saying about Texas, it was a boring race for me. I thought it was great to see Jimmy up there leading for a while, finished fifth. It was great. That was a topic for me. Other than that, yes, it was a pretty boring race. Not a lot happened.
All I can really say is that Kyle Busch didn't win. I mean, he tried to blame his loss on his pit crew, but his pit crew didn't make him hit the wall.
Right, and not only that, he can't complain when Denny Hamlin had two pit stop violations, one back twice,
penalties,
and then goes all the way back and wins the race. So it can be done, especially, which is actually amazing because you never see drivers be able to recover after two penalties. So it's hard these days. So kudos to Denny Hamlin on winning that race.
Yes, absolutely. Way to go, Denny.
That was for you, Denny, man. Congratulations. And not a lot of topics came out of Texas. So
Not really. I mean,
it was more of a quiet week during, from Texas to Bristol. So
there was no drama. I mean, the only thing I heard about was Kyle Busch bitching about his team. But other than that, leading up to Bristol, all I was thinking was, Bristol, baby, this is going to be good. And it was a good race. I mean, don't get me wrong, but was it as exciting as races in the past at Bristol? No.
Well, the first couple of seconds were exciting when Kyle Busch spun and crashed because maybe he didn't have a chance to win it, but never mind. Kyle Busch.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, it's Kyle Busch. Apparently, he can just, he can drive the car with no fenders, no hood, and still win the race. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about Kyle Busch anymore.
I mean, he's as good as he is, but nobody's that good.
It's just, I don't know, it's just everything's perfect. The cars are perfect. It doesn't matter. Xfinity car is perfect. The truck car is perfect. This is perfect. He can crash. The car is still perfect.
One thing I can really say about Bristol is watching the Xfinity race, that was a good race. Why? Because there wasn't no NASCAR guys in it. And if they were running just like the rest of the Xfinity guys were, and that was a good race to watch. I enjoyed that race 100% more than I enjoyed the Cup race. That's saying something right there, NASCAR. You better be looking at your shit because the attendance proves it.
Yeah, I saw the attendance there at Bristol. I was like, this is just not what it. Oh man,
both the turns
That's
were
disappointing.
empty.
It's disappointing. It really is.
And there was maybe half the fans up in the grandstands. I mean, they must have been cheap seats there. And if I was down there and I heard that race was going to be like that, I would have been there grabbing myself some prime seats.
Yeah, you could probably just move down. Literally. Where you were probably, and just be able to move down because there was so much seating. It was just that. And that's Bristol. That is Bristol. That's one of the best racetracks to see a race, and we can't even sell out there. We gotta figure out what we're doing here in NASCAR. Like he said, get your shit together because that's scary. That proves that we're not going in the right direction.
We're not.
We need to figure this out
soon. We're absolutely not going in the right direction. And I got to go back to it. You just can't have a one-man show in NASCAR. It can't be just Kyle Busch. He needs a rival.
Exactly. What do you think made the 90s great with the Gordon versus Earnhardt's and things like that? We don't see that no more. And I think no personalities on the drivers. You don't see
the same thing over and over again. All you hear is my sponsor, this sponsor, that sponsor. You don't hear any of the passion for racing. You don't get that anymore.
It's like robots.
They are so pre-programmed to be these, racing automatons, and it just doesn't work. It's not working, NASCAR. You got to get your shit together.
And another thing I noticed, it's also social media a lot of that too, because a lot of drivers feel like they're under a microscope, and you want to be a role model. You want to show that you're a positive. You don't want to show negativity. So it's hard to see some drivers give out that, inner aggression because they're, on the spotlight. As soon as you're out of the car, there's a microphone in your face. There's this and that. You got to be careful what you say. You don't want to say the wrong thing, and it's so much. It's twisted. It's twisted. Like you want to say what you want to say, but you can't say the wrong thing because then it'll take out of context. Next thing you know, you don't know what's gonna happen. So
your sponsor backs out because they don't want to be in league with the controversial guy.
Remember Daytona when it was Darrell Wallace. Remember he finished second and he got out of the car and he said the Adderall comment. Remember that? We both went to each other and went, boy, don't say that. Like, you know what I mean? And it's things like that. Like, I mean, it was cool to see his raw attitude, but then he's saying, oh man, I wish I had an Adderall right now and stuff like now. Me and him were looking at each other going, oh, I would not say that. That looks, you know what I mean? Especially with the whole AJ Allmendinger thing that happened a couple of years ago too.
Right.
See, there's some things you just can't say. And it comes back to bite you. And it's unfortunate. It's not like, it's not that, ruggedness no more. You don't see the Dale Earnhardts anymore. It just doesn't happen.
Well, it's a different era. I'll admit that. Somebody's probably going to comment on that. That it's a different era. You can't compare the two. You really can't.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we agree.
It's a different world out there. I mean, look at me with this gnarly beard and this kid over here. He can barely grow one.
I'm trying, right? It's kind of comes in, right? But no, it's like we were saying, it'd be nice to see a little bit more out of the drivers. That's why kind of talk about Ricky Stenhouse lately because he's been aggressive out there. He's been everyone talks about him and everyone either runs into him and he runs back. So it's like I like seeing that. You know what I mean? At least he's showing a little bit of what NASCAR was about. You know what I mean? Like you hit me, I hit you, and it's not he hit me.
He was actually really like, yep, I hit him. Because he hit me.
Yeah,
it really was. That's about the size of what happened there, and it was entertaining for me to see that. Yes, but there's other drivers out there that made unbelievable runs at like the Benedetto.
I'll tell you what, Matt Benedetto's been doing great.
Yeah. My God, and Ryan Newman.
Nah, Newman's been stepping up too lately.
They put together that team. Ryan Newman's team is up and coming.
It's good to see Roush. Good to see Roush back up there, man. That's awesome to see. And back to Matt Benedetto for a second. Hats off to you and the Levi Racing team, family team, because you guys have really stepped it up. I mean, I was like I said when I went to Martinsville, sitting there watching him, going, I'm getting passed by Matt Benedetto. Like, seriously, this guy's really actually doing good. And then I look back and he's like third. He's finishing in the top 10. He's finishing outside the top 15. He's actually, that is a little team that could. And if he keeps going and they keep getting the performance they got, I think that could be a good team.
And really the people that were supposed to do good and did horrible. Kevin Harvick ends up 2 laps down. Kyle Larson.
I was just about thinking. Kyle Larson's had the worst luck so far this year.
I mean, he's got an unlucky pull shoved so far up his ass, he's choking on it. When he should be running the top, he's on the bottom. When he should be on the bottom, he's running the top. He's got to get his shit together.
Poor William Byron over there. He got just pushed right into the wall by him.
Yeah.
And also, that's another guy, William Byron. He has really also stepped it up the last couple of weeks.
Yes,
Hendrick alone is actually stepping up.
He was really ripping around that track.
Oh, yeah, the 12th
He was
car?
ripping around Texas, too, so don't get me wrong. I mean, this isn't a one-time thing we're watching him do. He's just doing it.
And another thing, he's the only Penske car that has not been a victory lane yet.
Yeah.
I noticed that. So basically Gibbs and Penske are going to victory lane. It's the only thing so far this year.
Well,
and then let's take a shot to Hendrick Motorsports.
And yeah.
That's a lucky shot for this weekend, guys. Coming up at Richmond, which I'm really excited. I'm excited about Richmond. Let's talk about Richmond for a second.
One thing you gotta, before you start talking about the race at Richmond, is the history of the track.
Oh man.
I mean, that track has been around since the start of NASCAR. And the fact that they're still putting down ridiculous laps at this place after 50 some odd years is just a credit to the people that have run that track in the past and the people that are running it now. I don't know if it's still the same family or what. I have no idea. But it's still something that I really like about Richmond is the history.
When I went down to the Martinsville race, I actually got a chance to go to see the Richmond Richmond Raceway, now it's called, and the place is just beautiful. It's a really. I looked at the track, just in the difference between turns 1 and 2, between 3 and 4, how one's flat, one's banked. It was amazing. I was like this. I was blown away.
Yeah, on
I
TV,
can't wait.
you just can't see that.
Yeah, it just does not do justice. What those corners, man, they go down that turn 1 down low, and then turn 4, you can really just get in. I was like, wow, that's awesome. And I mean, do you think of all the wrecks there, all the winning wrecks up there? I mean, Earnhardt Waltrip back in the day, then Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. It goes on. Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon, them battling. I mean, the battles there have been amazing. Kevin Harvick getting into fights with Ricky Rudd, and you know what I mean. It's just that track can produce a lot of excitement because of how small, but of how there is those two grooves. So that's an exciting track.
Hey, and I'm hoping that we're going to see the return of the 4, the 42, the 48, the 2, all the 6, all up front, and making a better race out of things.
Oh yeah, I think it should be good.
If they're up there with all these young guns that we were just talking about, the Stenhouse and the Benedetto and all these other guys, I mean, and especially the 6, that guy is just such a hot shot.
Ryan Newman, man. It's Ryan. It's the newest, the Rocket Man, man.
He's the Rocket Man.
He's been slowly but surely really set. I've been watching him like, the 6 cars up there. The 6 cars coming up there. So, like I said before, it's really good to see Roush starting to have somewhat success. It really is good to see that. It is good. You know, Roush has been around forever with, Mark Martin and Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards, and all these great drivers that have come from there, and it's good to see them finally get back up there in competition. It really is.
Well, I'm gonna throw my quota down and say that the 6 car is gonna come up on top on this one. How about you?
But for this weekend's race?
Yeah, Richmond. I'm saying the 6 car.
Volpec. I mean, you know something? I'm gonna go with a guy that hasn't won yet, that should have a win. And that's that number 19 car, Mark Truex Jr. I'm gonna go with Truex Jr. this week because I think he's overdue for winning, and my dark horse will be this week. It's gonna be Eric Almirola because that dude has been really on fire lately, but he's just getting bad luck after bad luck after. So I mean, I think Eric Almirola, he's another guy that's really hungry to get a victory lane. I think he'll be the dark horse who can do it. But you have to beat the number 18, so we'll see what happens. If you can beat the 18, you can win this race.
I'm gonna go with.
So your dark horse?
My dark horse is going to be Ryan Newman.
Newman, who's your favorite then?
Oh yeah. I messed up the 6 and I'm a little dyslexic here. The guy I think is going to win the race is Chase Elliott.
Number 9. Yep.
Number 9 car. I mean,
he's due for a win too. Oh my God, he's been so close. Dude, he had a chance when I went to Martinsville. He was right. He even said if he had a couple more laps, he would have had him.
Yeah, but you know what? How many drivers have said that? I just needed 2 more laps. I won. Well, guess what? You don't. You don't get another fucking lap there, chump.
I still love Chase Elliott. I still think he's gonna. I mean, all the drivers we all just named are due for a win, and you can also add the 48 into that because he's over fucking due for a win if you ask me. And when he wins, it's gonna be a party, especially for me.
He's gonna be knocking on my door, hammered on a Sunday night, being like, "Let's go do some shots."
Yeah, because let's do 48 shots. No, I'm just kidding.
If you did 48 shots, you'd be dead.
Of course I would, but or I could do 4 and you could do 8. Haha.
Hey, that's a possibility.
All right. So, what were some other big things that you wanted to? Any conspiracy theories this week?
Hey, my conspiracy theory on this week is that they didn't call penalties on Kyle Busch when they could have. He went through too many pit stalls. Too many men over the wall, uncontrolled tires that they didn't do. That's the reason why he won that race.
Another thing I found out, now it's actually mentioned at Bristol, what was the confusion with the caution coming out? Placing the drivers. I was watching it. Brad Keselowski was trying to find a place in line. They said he was behind the 6, but then he went in front of the 6. The 6 was supposed to be here. I guess the 20. They said they messed all that up, dude, and that was really confusing because I listened to the radio. That was weird. It was weird.
The people that are on the radios are the ones that are supposed to be specific to each driver to do what. But they were just saying 6 behind the this, behind this to do that. And it said nothing to him, so he stayed in his spot like every other driver would do. They just stayed where they were. He's like, all right, they ain't saying to me, it must be in the right spot, and they penalized him for it.
And then while I was watching, NASCAR Sports Hub on Fox FS1, they were showing that he actually was in the right place. He did back out and get in line. If he stayed there, he would have been fine. But I guess he decided to get in the middle of it and make it 3 wide. And I don't know. I guess the green flag waved and he was 3 wide, and there was just confusion everywhere. And I'm not sure if he got black flag for it or not. Because I was at WrestleMania and I didn't get to see the full race, but that's what I know, and I heard that happen. I was like, that's interesting.
One thing I want to do say to the crew chiefs of the drivers that were out front for that last caution, why the hell did you pit? If you hadn't pit, you would have won, or at least had a chance to win. Because that's how Kyle Busch did it. He didn't pit.
No, and I'm going to say this right now. I don't like Kurt Busch. I don't like him. But I was hoping he would just get up there, because he even said at the end of the race, I would have wrecked my brother. And I was hoping he did, because I'd rather see Kurt Busch win than Kyle Busch.
Right. Thank you, Parker.
Parker, thank you, sir. Alright. We got more shots. We're good now.
Yeah, we're almost done with this anyway, so we're just going to grab up these shots here and say,
salute to NASCAR.
Make
it better.
Great race at Richmond.
Another thing I want to notice I haven't seen this year, and I know it's coming. I know this is Storm Bruin. Is a crash. I'm gonna tell you right now, we haven't seen a big crash all year.
We never did.
Daytona, obviously. Daytona. Sorry. Besides Daytona, we haven't seen any pileups, any cars wrecking. I really think maybe Martinsville could do. Richmond could do it. If not, you know what's next week after that?
No, I don't. What's the week after that?
Talladega.
Ooh, Talladega. One of my favorite tracks.
My favorite all-time track.
Because I've been there.
It's hands down my favorite track.
I know how big this place is because I've actually been there. I've stood up in my seat.
It's the best track in the world.
Been invited down to the infield and got really, really, really wasted down on the infield the Saturday night beforehand. And woke up on
That's Talladega Boulevard for you.
And I woke up on top of somebody's camper. I didn't know who it was, but they were really nice to me when I woke up the next morning. So whoever you are, thanks, man. Thanks for being so cool.
I'm telling you right now, Talladega, everybody, that race, watch it. That is going to be probably the Aaron's 499 coming up is probably going to be one of the best races of the year. Not only that, we get a little treat. You know what's going to be before that? It's the ARCA race and the Xfinity.
Are the trucks going to win there?
I don't. The trucks, they go there in October.
All right.
I don't know if, and I want to look at it. I know Hailie Deegan has a couple of races in the ARCA series that she's she's supposed to do this year. I don't know if Talladega is supposed to be one of them, but if it is, I'm watching you, and I'm definitely watching you do that for sure. Because Hailie, I'm Hailie Deegan. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I think you're going to be the future of NASCAR. I think you're going to be the first woman ever to win a championship, and I call it now.
That's cool.
She's going to be the first woman to ever win a NASCAR championship.
Well, she's got she's got a certain kind of attitude that really makes a good driver, and that's the willingness to go for the hard pass on the last lap. She'll go for it.
She'll put, dude. I've seen her those 2 wins she had. She moved them, and guess what? You don't see that out of even some of the male drivers in stand. She has no fear and does it. Hailie Deegan, you are the future for the women, and every woman and girl that's watching this right now, you should really watch Hailie Deegan because that's your future right there. That's the real. Not Danica, not anything that's been in the past, not freaking Shauna Robinson, none of that. No. Hailie Deegan's gonna change it. Not only that, Natalie Decker coming up too. She's gonna be another game changer. These women fucking mean serious business.
Yeah,
and I give them respect because if you could drive, you got me. And I've seen, like I said, Hailie Deegan's won 2 races. How many did freaking Danica win in NASCAR?
None.
How many, was she up there at the top 5? How many times? What, once, twice? Maybe 3 times? Yeah.
How many races did you win in Indy?
1 because of field mileage. What?
No,
it was Tokyo.
Rain.
Oh, it was Tokyo, right?
It was rain.
It was either China or Japan. Yeah, one of those.
Japan, and it was rain. She won because of rain. Rain shortened race. She won. It's the only one.
Was that really how it happened?
Yes.
I thought it was because everyone else did the field mileage.
They never finished that race. That was because that ended because of rain.
Danica won it, and then she comes to the Cup. And I mean, sorry, if you can't do anything with Stuart Haas Racing, then where are you gonna go? No. So with the women thing, I really think you guys should follow Hayley Deegan. I think she's gonna be the future and the revolution, just like when WWE had the women's revolution. She's gonna be the NASCAR revolution of everything, and I think she's gonna change it. I say right now, she's gonna win a championship in NASCAR, either Trucks, Xfinity, or Cup. She's got it. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm pretty sure she has a deal with Joe Gibbs Racing. So we'll see.
Does she get her engines from Joe Gibbs?
Well, she drives the Monster number 19 car, so I'm not sure, and she's a Toyota. So I'm not sure if there is a working there with the Gibbs cars, but you know what I mean? I think she's working with the Gibbs cars.
Well, that'll probably bring us about the end of this little.
Yes, I'm glad you all stayed with us. Sorry for the long wait. We hope you guys tune in next week. We'll be here. We'll be talking about Richmond.
And Talladega race, of course, we're going to be talking a lot.
Yeah. We might as well have our own segment on Talladega because me and him won't shut up about Talladega. So,
Super Speedway, yes.
But all right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, on the Stat Hole, Chad the Roach with the Mansels, James Sullivan. Tune in next week, and we'll have it all ready for you.
Go Bruins.
Bye, guys. Go Penguins.